And welcome to Simply Pilates. Today we are going to use the Theraband. Standing up tall, we put the Theraband underneath our feet hip distance apart, holding on to that Theraband in our hands. We go ahead and lift our arms to the sides, laterally away from the body, all the way up to the top. And then we curl down, articulating down through the spine. We come back up, stacking the spine, hips over heels, and we again lift our arms away. As our hands go up to the sky, we make sure shoulders are down and out of the ears. We forward fold through articulation, and we roll back up, stacking the spine. Continuing on with this process, thinking about nice tall spine, we add a rotation through the upper body, coming back to center, and we lower our arms down to shoulder height, keeping shoulders again slid down into back pockets. Chest remains soft, try not to pop open at the rib cage. Rotation happens through upper body, we come back through center, and we lower arms down. We lift arms up in front raises. Trick here again is keeping that chest soft. We go into an elbow bend, pulling at the biceps, keeping nice tension on that Theraband. Try not to move anything at the upper body while we stabilize, pressing feet into the mat. We open at the chest, shoulders stay down and out of ears. Again, no popping at the rib cage, keeping chest soft. We bend to the side. Alternating directions. Try to keep hip bones, the points of the hip bones facing forward while the reach happens at the side of the waist. Coming back through center, stopping and pausing through center line, nice posture, tall. Next, we will hinge at the hips, staying nice and lengthened through back of the legs. Back is flat, and we pull elbows up away from the body, getting into those back muscles. Nice and slow, we pull, and as we lower down, we slow through that resistance. Tricep kickbacks. Finding the resistance that works for you based on how tight your Theraband is. We keep those elbows lifted, back is flat, crown of the head stays nice and long, and we roll up to standing. Now we're going to choke up on the band, and we do some leg lifts to the side, working on our balance for 4, and then we do upright rows. Elbows lifted, hands are close to the front of the body for 4. And then we transition, balancing on the other leg, and straight leg lifts out to the side of the body for a count of 4. Lowering down, feet hip distance apart, upright rows again. Collarbone nice and wide, back is tall, crown of the head lifted. Next, you will see I have the band just in the one foot. I'm going to start with some foot presses. First, I pull up my quad, so pulling up my knee, I drive straight leg out at an angle in front, extending through hamstring, using the quad to pull that knee back up, keeping the same tension on the band where the arms are. Next, I drive heel straight down to the mat, pulling knee straight up in front of me. Here you'll see I need a little bit of a transition as I try to drive my leg behind. I want to choke up on the band a little bit more. The more tension gives me a bit more stability, and also a little bit more work getting that leg to drive back. Here I drive heel behind me, again working on balance through that other leg. Upper body stays still, no movement in the arms. Driving back, getting into those glutes. And here I work on the other side. So finding that nice tension so there's no movement through arms, upper body. I first drive forward at an angle through quadricep, extension through hamstring and calf. Next, knee drive straight up, heel drive straight down, No movement, again, through that upper body. Here I grab a little bit tighter on that Theraband for that work as my leg goes behind me and driving through that heel. There's a slight hinge through the front line of my body, which means my lower abdominals are supporting my lower back by staying engaged. Next, we're going to be coming down to the mat, so we're going to double up on that band. Take the band in our hands as we lower down into a plank. Lifting up into that plank, I'm on my feet. If this is too much, you can always lower down to knees as I rotate upper body up with that elbow pull through chest, trying to widen that collarbone on the lift, still trying to keep that head in alignment with the rest of your spine. Lowering down to knees, I go ahead and twist and rotate through upper body as I go through an extension at the elbow. Lengthening arm up for a count of 4. Transitioning to other side, staying in that rotation while you go into that extension, again for a count of 4. Trying to rotate head in alignment with where that hand is aimed. Transitioning next into a quadruped position, I take the Theraband around my foot that's behind me and holding on to the band with the upper body with my hands. Lifting that leg out, I lengthen it, I lift and lower, trying to keep stable through the spine, finding extension through that leg, pressing through Theraband, through that foot. We go into a rainbow. In and away from the body, keeping stable at the hips. Try not to wiggle anything. Upper body's totally straight. Crown of the head again is pulling nice and long. And we go into donkey lifts through that heel to sky, engaging the glutes. Again, staying nice and stable through lower abs and pelvic floor. We go ahead and take the band over to the other side. Find ourselves in position so the band is around the other foot. Hands stabilize through front line. We extend through that leg that has the Theraband wrapped on foot. We go into our lift and lowers. Try to keep that pelvis stable. Try not to open at the hips either, keeping squared at the hips as we go into our rainbow of the legs. Very good. Feel that extension, feel that length. No movement through that upper body while leg is moving. We go into now our donkey kicks, lifting up to the sky, driving through that flexed foot, heel, feeling that connection in the glute. As knee lifts up and we lower back down. Good job. Next, we'll be laying on the mat. Our Theraband's going to go underneath our body lengthwise, so it travels the length of our body. We're going to lay down, making connection onto that band. We're going to reach behind, overhead. We're going to grab the Theraband. The tighter we're able to make this Theraband, the more it's going to aid us in our roll up. We get up to a full lifted position. The band travels up your spine, all the way up through the crown of the head. It aids you on the lowering as well. And we continue. Good job. Once you get to the top, don't forget about that posture and then initiating that roll down through that pelvic tilt. Lowering down and lifting one vertebrae at a time through that articulation up to the top, and we slowly come down. Excellent movement. Lots of length being created through each of the vertebrae. Next, laying on our back, we take the Theraband, wrapping it around the 1 foot. Other leg is long. If this is too much to stabilize through pelvis as we do single leg circles, you can always leave that other leg without the band on it in a hook position. We start our circles, maintaining stability through hips, and we rotate leg around in the other direction. Again, single leg circling, finding length through that leg. We go ahead and tuck that other foot into the band, about hip distance apart here. And we pull those straight legs apart, pulling those legs apart, getting outside of those legs and thighs. And we do some pulses here. Great job. We take the foot now, other foot, and we make single leg circles with the other foot in the band. Again, nice rotation through hip. Stability through that pelvis, no rocking through that upper body or hips, reversing direction of our circles, lengthening through leg, extending through that hip. Good job, wonderful. We go back into having both feet on that band, choking up on the band to help aid us while we lift ourselves up into this teaser position. Here I bend my knees so they're in a tabletop, and I go into a row. My palms are facing up to the sky. I'm rowing back, trying to stay still at the upper body, focusing on arms. And here I transition, straightening and lengthening, legs getting extension through lower body, leaning back slightly at the upper body in order to get more extension. Here I'm going to just straighten out my band. I was not quite in the center of it, so I'm going to readjust to get my feet more towards the center. Getting myself lifted back up, feet into tabletop position. Again, if this is too much, you can leave your feet in a hook position. But what I'm doing here is I'm rotating through upper body, getting into that twist and rotation, anchoring through my sits bones, and then going to the other side, rotating tall through the crown of the head. Spine stays long throughout, upper body rotation only. And from here, I'm going to go into a full extension of upper body and lower body, lengthening straight arms and legs opening, maintaining the C curve through the front of my body. Lower abs are pulled in. Holding legs now, I go primarily through that upper body lifting. And here I take my time, I roll back. So I'm doing a roll over, holding onto that band, trying to get into almost an open leg rocker. As I come back up, I lower my legs down, upper body stays still. Through articulation, I lower back, feet go overhead, roll over, coming up, hollowing through front line of the body. Here we go again, lowering legs down, slowly rotating through upper body, coming back up, balancing on sits bones, and lowering down legs, upper body stays still. Fantastic. Go ahead and lower feet down, and you're finished. Congratulations.